Where are we sort of right now and what's sort of coming down the pike? Well, where we're at right now is in May, we hit what I would call a bottom from an inventory perspective. We've been tracking on a weekly basis available inventory, tri-county wide, single-family townhouse condos. I do it every Monday. Effectively, the MLS is a large trading pit. Think of the New York Stock Exchange. People are buying and trading stock up there or any other kind of equities. We're looking at the MLS as a large trading pit for real estate. And what we found is in November of 08, Thanksgiving week, there were 108,000 properties on the market, tri-county wide. Of those, and there was an additional 9,000 properties that were pending sales. Fast forward to May of this year, we were down to 65,000 available. We were up to about 23,000 pending sales. But something sort of happened in May, and I don't know if it's the first time home buyer program sort of a lapsing or what exactly, but we're seeing continuing growth in the inventory now. So we're approaching back up to about 70,000 or so. Pending sales are still holding firm at about 20,000, 22,000. What we're seeing primarily though is where a lot of the buyers are going is that they're running after new product. Most of today's buyers are all cash and they want to try to take down the best and the finest. It's really a flight to quality, and that's why David's project's been able to sell. David, you're not actually selling on average at $1,450, you're moving at $1,632. Needed that clarification. So in terms of where we're going forward, there's a lot of concern about bulk. There are all these towers up there. Who's going to fill it all? 23,000 units built in downtown Miami, 5,000 built in South Beach. In case anybody knows or doesn't know, about 5,100 units actually went up from 24th Street down to South Point, from the Venetian Isles full loop over to the Atlantic. Of that, you got about 1,200 units left. Some of the units are here, some of them are in Park City across the street, some of them are elsewhere. But really what you're finding is South Beach is holding firm. We saw in the first half of this year, South Beach is blending at about $1,250 a foot on average. You jump over to downtown Miami where they're looking about 700 units, so roughly per quarter, 2,800 a year. Over there, they're trading at $333 a foot. Go up to Sunny Isles, they're moving at an average of about $475 a foot. So really what's happening is everybody comes here, they want to buy South Beach, but they're kind of priced out unless they're real. And if they're real, they're buying something like this. If they're looking for value, they're probably going to Sunny Isles if they want sand. They're probably going to downtown Miami if they want just straight value, new sort of product. So South Beach has carved out its niche. It's going to stand firm. The real buyer wants to be in South Beach the same way the real buyer wants to be in Palm Beach Island, goes to West Palm Beach. If you sort of do what you're doing and you stand firm there, I think what you're probably going to find is that the worst times are sort of behind you. The real key, in our opinion, of this whole thing is really going to be the financing. We're finding anybody coming in on a deal today trying to purchase probably has to put 15 to 20% premium on any kind of offer that's coming in where there's going to be financing contingent. The thought process from the seller is if I have to wait 30 or 60 days, make it worth my while rather than giving me the ability to move it in 10 days. So really the financing will sort of turn this whole thing around. Last point I would mention sort of before I sit down, July 1st, for anybody who doesn't know, is really a critical moment, I think, in the whole real estate market turnaround in the state of Florida. The legislature was finally able to approve a successor developer liability issue. Not an attorney, the attorney's going to advise you about it, but basically what it says is if you own too many units, the association can sue you if there's any defects with the building. And what that law did is it basically waived and changed the whole dynamic. Now you have Wall Street, which has basically been sitting here scouring, trying to take down this product. They've had to sit on the sidelines because of this successor developer liability issue, which basically opened up the door for private equity to move in and be able to sort of deplete the inventory. Now you have Wall Street chasing this product like you can't believe. The problem is much of it's been depleted. So what that's forcing people like me to do is I'm having to hit the miles and drive up to West Palm Beach. I'm driving up to Orlando. We're going elsewhere, really because the deals are sort of gone here. There are still little deals around, but most of Wall Street is coming down here. They're disappointed, and they're starting to put up prices that are higher than most people would think. And I'll leave you this point. Goldfield just traded an Icon on the 3rd of September. You're not going to believe this. It moved for about $345 a foot. $345 in downtown Miami for a block of 15 units. Bulk is typically 10 units or more, and it was all in cash transaction to a foreign buyer out of Colombia. So that's kind of where we're going.
Hey, Peter, don't go anywhere. I think you may have answered all my questions. And for correcting David on the square foot price, you don't get the guava cheesecake. I want to let you know that. But you talked about the increase in inventory. Is this because there are no deals here? Why is that?
Well, I think what happened, think back to when oil spiked to $4 a gallon. When you were able to buy gas at $1.75 and you filled your tank and then went to $4, you said, oh my gosh, that's just way too expensive. Now when you see $2.50, you say, boy, that's a great deal, I'm just going to fill up all I can. I think the sellers are coming to the realization of what the new pricing scheme is. And because of that new pricing scheme, you have people who maybe don't have to sell in a distressed format that basically been sitting on the sidelines. They don't want to go another 3, 4, 5 years. They don't expect any kind of appreciation. And they're kind of throwing in the towel and just simply deciding to move. And that's what I think is driving a lot of the inventory as we go forward.
Also, Fannie Mae's approved 70 new condos for financing in South Florida in 2010 after not approving a single one in 2008. Why is that?
Because the Fannie Mae got beat up because they're a public-private entity that buys mortgages on the secondary market. They were supposed to be there to help, to assist in the whole turnaround of the housing market, but what they did is they battened down the hatches and they didn't help anybody. So there's a tremendous amount of criticism. Consequently, Fannie Mae has created a 6-person, what I call special ops team. That group of 6 people, that's all they do is go around the state of Florida approving condo towers. So basically, submit an application, pay the fee, and you're going to get approved.
There we go. Peter Zalewski, everyone.